lesson today, we're going to be looking at the Dorian mode in relation to a major scale. So when to use the Dorian mode, you can hear it commonly used on songs like Impressions, So What. Santana actually uses the Dorian mode quite frequently in his own guitar playing as well. So when we encounter a D minor 7 chord, or any minor 7 chord for that matter, one way we can improvise over it is by using a Dorian mode. So in Impressions, D minor 7, we could play D Dorian. When we get to E flat minor 7, E flat Dorian. When we get back to D minor 7, go back to D Dorian. So there's two methods that are pretty commonly used as a way to think of Dorian mode, just to kind of wrap your brain around this. So we're going to look at that first. There's going to be a guitar-specific lesson after this as well, so be on the lookout for that video. So method number one, you're going to start on the second degree of a major scale. So in the key of C, if we start the scale on D instead of C, we'll be creating D Dorian, which you can see right there. Now what that's going to look like on your instrument, you can try this at home. If you play a C major scale first, if you play that same C major scale, but starting on D instead, you've just played D Dorian as opposed to C major. D Dorian. Just a different sound. So when we're building these scales, you can do this on sheet music as well, which I have my students do, but for simplicity's sake for the video, we're going to do this on the whiteboard. So let's do this in the key of G. We have G major. We need to start in the second degree, which is A. We're going to write that out. We have A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G, A. That is our A Dorian scale. Key of F major, we need to start in the second degree, which is G. Same collection of notes, just starting on the second note of the scale as opposed to the first. And that will create our G Dorian scale. Now, there's another way we can look at this and think of Dorian mode in relation to major scales. And it's going to involve actually altering the major scale. So method number two that we're going to look at in this video, if we flat or lower the third and seventh degree of the scales, 1/2 step will create a Dorian mode. So if you start with C major and we flat the third, which is E, and the seventh, B, we'll end up with a C Dorian scale. So C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat, and C. Now on your instrument, you do that by starting with your C major scale. Now you need to make the alterations in your head. So the third is E, the seventh is B. So we need to add an E flat. We need to have a B flat instead of B natural. So we're replacing those two notes. Okay, so it's a little bit of a different thought process. When you're encountering this on a lead sheet, like Impressions, the way that you would want to think about this first is say, okay, D Dorian is what I need to play over D minor 7. So I know my D major scale, so think about your notes of your D major scale. I need to lower the third and the seventh a 1/2 step. So the third is going to lower the 1/2 step, the seventh is going to lower the 1/2 step. So you're actually altering that major scale. So thinking of the major scale with a flat 3 and a flat 7, okay? So we said we need a D major first. There's our D major scale. Now we need to lower the third and the seventh. So it gives you a different sound from our typical major scale. Dorian Mode is a lot of fun, and that's like the two common ways to think of it. I'm sure there's another one, but typically that's my go-to, is one of those two methods. So thank you all for watching.